Hey guys, it's Shay. I just wanted to give everyone an update on how round 1 and how round 2 of chemo went, and basically how everything goes for chemo as of right now. So this is just an updated video for my clinical trial diaries, I guess. So round 1 and round 2, I do both of them by vein instead of port or PICC line. And the reason why is I only have 6 rounds of chemo, and my oncologist wanted to see if I was able to handle it by vein because it won't cause an infection and it won't cause a blood clot like the other 2 will. So I did round 1 and 2 by vein, and for round 1, it fried my vein. So the first drug that I take is known as Red Devil. It is a bright red drug. It burns. Actually, all 3 out of the 4 drugs that go in by vein burn. It burned. So the first time, what it did is it turned my vein red, and after chemo, it left it like this bruised color, and it's fried. I can't really see my vein. It's not blue anymore. It's just fried from the chemo. So that happened. It's still currently fried, but after the chemo, the first 1 to 2 days, for the most part, I feel okay. I just feel really hungover because of the chemo drugs and probably all the pre-meds and stuff. But they give me so many pre-meds that I don't feel nauseous or anything. I pretty much just sleep the first 2 days. But after that, what happened to me was my mouth started to burn like fire. Spit, water, anything that went down it just burned like fire all the time. I couldn't get any relief. Like even ice, it all burnt in my mouth, and that was for 1 day. And after that day, mouth ulcers that were bordering the entire outside of my tongue showed up. And once they showed up, I didn't eat for about 3 days because it was very, very difficult to eat because of how painful they were. So they showed up. Another thing with chemo is they give you this patch, and 27 hours after you've had chemo, the patch releases drugs that boost up your white blood cell count. White blood cell count. I don't know why that came out weird. But whenever it does this, because white blood cells are made in bone marrow, it causes very, very, very extreme bone pain. So whenever my patch went off in 27 hours, it caused all kind of bone pain, mainly in my back and in my hips and my knees. And I honestly felt like a 95-year-old grandma. I'm not even kidding. I couldn't get out of bed because I was in so much extreme pain from that, but it did help my white blood cells. My blood work for the second round all came back really good. All my numbers are really good so far, so I know the patch helps, but it was so painful, and I didn't know that if you take a Claritin, it'll help that. So I suffered for a few days with that. Couldn't really get out of bed, and it also caused, I think, a lot of muscle aches and nerve issues, but I'm not sure. That could have also been from the chemo. So also another thing is, once that patch went off, I started having jaw, ear, and tooth pain. I thought my teeth were going to fall out. Honestly, they were hurting so bad, and my jaw was so painful that I couldn't open it. So I had mouth ulcers followed by jaw pain, so I wasn't able to eat for quite a while. And the mouth ulcers eventually turned into stomach ulcers. So altogether, I think I went 1 week without really eating anything at all. And when that happened, my weight dropped to 98 pounds, and I had a mental breakdown, and I had to go to the ER. So when I went to the ER, they discovered that I didn't have any bacteria or anything like that going on that was causing the stomach pain, but they just told me it's really bad stomach ulcers, and they gave me some medication to help the ulcers start healing. They also discovered that I did have some liver damage, which is common because I'm going through chemo. So this enzyme popped up whenever they ran my blood test, and it just indicated that there was some liver damage, which your organs get damaged from chemo. So they did see that. The stomach ulcers prior to going to the ER actually caused me to not be able to hold any food down, any liquids down. Everything was coming up, and that's when we realized that we were going to have to go to the ER to get fluids. So I got fluids, and in about 2 days I started feeling better because the ulcer medication was kicking in, and I finally had fluids back in my system, and I finally started to feel better. So all that happened during round 1. Other issues that started popping up in round 1 was that I started having nerve damage. So I would just lay in bed and my nerves would just constantly shoot off in my back, constant twitching, constant moving, and it's kind of painful. It's not just like when your eye just twitches and you don't really, you feel it twitching, but there's no pain with it. This is a little bit different. It could also be maybe my muscles moving. I'm not really sure right now, but there was a lot of movement going on in my back, and I didn't really sleep at all during round 1. So that happened. I also found out that my really sick days are days 6 and 7 after chemo. And my hair on day 14, which was the day before my next treatment of chemo, that's when my hair started to shed a lot, but it wasn't really falling out in patches yet, but that's when there was a lot of shedding. So that was round 1. Overall for round 1, I thought mentally that if this is how every single round of chemo was going to go, that I probably wasn't going to make it through chemo. Honestly, I thought I was going to die at one point, because when I'm talking about pain, I'm not talking about just like a little earache or anything. I'm talking about pain that I've never felt before in my life, like 11 out of 10 when it came to pain. And I told my husband several times, I was like, if you come home and you are sick in any way, shape, or form, and you get me sick, like, I'm going to die, because my body was so weak. So he slept on the couch a few nights, like if he felt kind of oofy. He would go and sleep on the couch, because it was by far probably my worst round ever, and it was just because I didn't know what my symptoms were going to be. Prior to chemo, they give you pages and pages and pages of all these symptoms that can come with chemo, and every single person's different. So I didn't know what my symptoms were, and now that I know what they are, my oncologist, my whole team has basically given me medication to stop the symptoms or to weaken them. So we have it under control as of right now, but that first round, I'm not kidding, I thought I was going to die. And I was able to, I think I had 3 or 4 really good days after all the pain and stuff. So 3 or 4 days before my next treatment, I went from 98 pounds to 104. So I was able to put on 6 pounds in like 3 days. I ate all the time, and it was because I was so scared, because I knew how skinny I was and how weak my body was. And I told myself, if I don't hurry and put on weight, this next round is going to be even rougher. So I hurried and I put on weight, and I'm so glad I did. I talked to my nutritionist, and she said, yes, that's exactly what you have to do. Like, basically on your good days, you just need to eat and eat and eat. So when the bad days come and you're not as hungry, it's okay if you lose a pound, because then you can gain it back. So that's kind of my mentality of how I'm doing everything. And I'm really glad I did this, because the second round went so good. So for my second round, about 2 to 3 days after my chemo is when my hair started falling out in patches. And I decided to shave it, because I would wake up in the morning and my hair would be matted because it was falling out, and it would get tangled with my other hair, and it was just really difficult to brush out. So I decided just to shave it, and I'm so glad I did, because there's so much pain that comes with your hair falling out. I don't know what it is, but it's extremely painful, and your whole head just aches. So I saw on Facebook, all the girls were like, if you shave your head, it takes the pain away, it makes you feel better, and it gives you a little bit of I guess, encouragement, because you're the one taking your hair away and not the chemo or not the cancer. So I decided to shave my head, and I didn't cry or anything. I didn't feel sad for myself, and I still don't feel sad for myself because it's just hair. Like, I really don't care. And since I shaved my head, people have told me like how beautiful my face is, and I guess it's because I've always had really long brown hair, and I guess it's kind of like hid my face, but everyone has commented on how pretty my eyes are and how they didn't even notice like my eyes were so green, like this blue green color, and I don't know, it's just been really nice, and I kind of enjoyed the new look because it's brought out a lot of features that I guess I didn't even notice about myself. So in a way, like, it kind of turned into a positive thing. So if you're going through cancer right now and your hair is starting to fall out and you're worried about it, like, honestly, just shave it. Like, you're gonna be fine. It is just hair. Like, it does not matter at the end of the day, and it's one less thing to worry about. I am so glad that I don't have to spend an hour fixing my hair if I want to go out in public or if I want to go for a walk in the park or whatever. I don't have to brush it, worried about it getting matted from sleeping all the time or being in bed. Like, it's so nice. Like, just shave your hair. It is so nice. And it's also amazing when you live in Louisiana and it's 100 degrees every single day and you don't have hair. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. So yeah, if you're going through that, just shave it. Another thing with round 2 that happened was 7 days after my chemo, I started experiencing arm pain from my shoulder all the way to my fingertips, and I lost mobility in my right arm for a while. I still don't have all my mobility and strength back, and that's because I did round 2 again by vein, and it is very difficult to do chemo by vein. Hardly anybody does it, and even if you do it, it's still extremely painful because the drugs burn going in. It fries up your veins. It's just not good. So for this round, I didn't have it fry or burn the next day. It happened a week later, which is really weird to me. It might be because the nurse this time was able to find a much bigger vein, and she actually went in through the wrist instead of up here. So she went in through the wrist, and I've lost a lot of hand mobility. There's a lot of, I think, nerve and vein damage in this right arm. I also did round 1 and round 2 both in my right arm. So it could be a combination of both round 1 and round 2. But I have decided to do a PICC line instead. I will only have 2 months left of chemo, and I was able to take a month off without doing a PICC line or a port. So I'm hoping that I don't get an infection or I don't get a blood clot with the PICC line. It's only 2 months. It's only 4 more treatments. So I'm really hoping, I'm really thinking that it's going to go well. Everyone has told me that there is no pain, there's no burning whenever you do get a PICC line. So I'm really excited to start doing chemo and not suffering for 3 hours of my arm burning like fire's going in it. So I am going to do a PICC line. My next chemo is actually tomorrow. And I'm super excited because after tomorrow, I will officially be halfway done with chemo. Yay, yay, yay. And then we are going to be moving on to immunotherapy, which I am really excited to do. I actually got in contact with a girl who's on the same clinical trial as me, and she said that she doesn't have any side effects from immunotherapy. So I'm really excited. I'm really looking forward to getting my life back and not being in constant pain. But round 2 went really well. I wasn't nauseous. I was able to eat all the time. I didn't have good days. I didn't really have bad days. I didn't have to hurry and put on weight or anything. I was able to eat all the way through. I'm even able to eat big meals. Like, I'm not nauseous or anything like that. The bone pain went away because I started taking Claritin. Just the main thing, I guess, was my arm and my hair falling out, which I'll take any day. So hopefully rounds continue to go well. Please keep praying for me, and thank you for those who are praying for me. It is working. I prayed to God after that first round. I was like, Lord, please give me the tools and the weapons to fight these next rounds of chemo, because I don't think I'm going to be able to make it through chemo if I don't have the right tools to fight my side effects. So he answered my prayers. I love it. Please just keep praying for me. I'm in a very positive mindset because I see the light at the end of the tunnel. We are almost there. We're almost done. I'm so excited. just thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's given me head wraps and stuff since my hair fell out. I love them. I have like 30 of them. So I'm excited once this is over to hand these over to other people that are going through this. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching my channel. Always feel free to subscribe or comment, message me if you're going through anything. I will help you out in any way I can. I will see you guys again probably after my 4th round to give you an update on how the pick line is going and how my side effects are going. But thank you guys for prayers and everything.